Good evening and welcome to the Oliveboard platform. My name is Marut Sharma, your logical reasoning expert, and we are here today to start a new topic and finish it, that is dice. So today we'll be covering both the theory and good level questions of dice in this session, and we'll be done and dusted with this aspect of special visualization arrangement based questions. So special arrangement based questions will have topics like dice, cube and cuboid. So cubes and cuboid we'll be covering tomorrow. Okay, so let's start with the concept of dice. Whenever I'll talk to you about dice, what is the first thing which comes to your mind? It is the play dice, right? The dice which we all have been using to play board games as children: Ludo, Snakes and Ladders, Picnic, Business, Monopoly. All these games, Sequent, all these games you utilize the dice. Okay. Now a dice is a simple cube with 6 faces. So supposedly a dice, how do we use it is, it lands, when we roll it, it lands on a surface, a flat surface, right? And when it lands on a flat surface, supposedly I am rolling a dice on my palm now and it has landed here. It has landed right here. So the number which is visible to me on the top is how many places my peg will move. So this top face decides what will be the number which will be the actual decisive factor for you to move your peg forward, right? Now look at this aspect of dice carefully, because this is where everything is dependent on. If I have a face on top which I can see, now if I move my head a little bit like this and a palm a little bit like this, I can see 4 more faces. I can see 4 more faces along with it. This face, this face, this face and this face. So these faces are known as adjacent faces. Adjacent means they are visible with the top face. If one face is at the top, the other 4 adjacent, the other 4 faces which are visible with the top face just by a little twist of your head and palm are known as adjacent faces, and adjacent faces are those which are visible. But no matter how hard I try, I will never be able to see what's at the bottom face of the cube because it has landed on my palm. So this bottom face is actually known as the opposite face to the top face. Why? Because it is not visible. Okay. So two faces are mostly known to be opposite to each other when they cannot be seen together if one of them is at the top and the die is landed on a flat surface. Okay, now a lot of students are over smart here. They'll say that what if it lands on a glass surface and I can see it from below? Yeah, all that is fine. But this is generally, the more important aspect is this. Oops. And why is that? Why is that? Because the complete principle of dice depends on this concept. That if they are adjacent, they will be visible together. If they are not adjacent, that is if they are opposite, they can never be visible together. Now, a dice is a 3D cube, right? A 3D figure. But your exams are all conducted on 2D papers, 2D pages, 2D screens. So there is a restriction. We can't show you a 3D dice. So that is why in the questions what you will see is, you will see multiple throws of the same dice. And at a time, only 3 faces will be visible to you. In one throw, at a time, only 3 faces will be visible to you. Something like this. Something like this. Only 3 faces will be visible. The other 3 will not be visible to you. So 1 throw, 2 throw, 3 throws, there will be some figures. And accordingly, you will decide what is right, what is wrong. Okay. Now, apart from this, whatever dice which we used to play with had a special feature in it. Okay. So there, if you see, your sum of opposite faces was always equal to, or is always equal to 7. In the dice which you used to play, the sum of opposite faces was always 7. So if I start with 1, the other one will be 6. If I start with 2, the other one will be 5. and if I start with 3, the other one will be 4, and vice versa. This dice, the playing dice, is also known as standard dice. But your questions need not be from the standard dice. You will not assume any dice to be a standard dice unless it is specified in the question. The question will majorly talk about generic dice with you. Generic means any number can be opposite anything, or any letter or any symbol, anything. Whatever is given in the dice will be taken as is, and you will not assume them to be a standard dice unless and until it is specified in your question. Right? Now, how many types of question does the dice topic have? There can be 2 questions which are posed from this, 2 major types of questions. Okay, question number 1 is of open dice, cube based or chart based questions. Question number 2 is from a closed dice. We will gradually understand about both of them now. Okay, when I talk of an open dice, basically a figure of this format is given to me. Something of this sort. Something of this sort will be given to me. And they will ask me, they'll give me four cubes in the option, and they'll ask me which of these can be made and which of these cannot be made. Okay. So how do I proceed with this? The main idea behind this is that I'll pick up the longest horizontal or vertical line. Longest horizontal or vertical line. Depends. It can either be the vertical line here, or it can also be horizontal sometimes. So I'll pick up one line, and there your alternate faces will always be opposite to each other. Now, what is the concept of alternate? Remember, alternate and adjacent are different. Adjacent means faces which can be seen together, okay, close to each other. Alternate means if you take one, then you skip one and go to the next. If you take one, you skip one and go to the next. Okay. And overhangs. Overhangs will also be opposite. What does this imply? Overhangs means whatever is left. So whatever is left will also be opposite to each other. So what can I conclude from here? I can conclude that A is opposite to C, B is opposite to D, and E is opposite to F. So from this open chart, I have got this information. Now, the question will put across some cubes in front of me, some dice. The main question will be, they will want to ask me that if this open chart is folded to form a cube, which of these cubes can be made or which of these cubes cannot be made. Okay. We don't have options of cubes here, right? Okay. So, my options are I need to check which of these cubes can be formed and which of these cubes cannot be formed. So what will be the idea here? The primary idea is that my cube can only be formed from this concept if I pick up one face from each level. One face from each level. So A and C I can have only one, B and D any one, E and F any one in any combination, but only one face from each level. And why is that? The reason is because I told you adjacent can be seen together, but opposite cannot be seen together. So these may be different throws of different die. You need to just check that A and C cannot come together because they are opposite faces, which we have found out from here. Okay, and why are they opposite faces? If you try to manually fold this, just keep A on the top, you will see B will come just at the side, at the end below it, and C will come below A, no matter how you fold it. Similarly, D will come below below B. So they will always be opposite. So that is what we have now found out directly. So ABF can be formed, no issue. Why? Because one face from each level. CBE can be formed, one face from each level. CFE, F and E both are together, cannot be formed. ADB both are together, cannot be formed. D and B are both are together, cannot be formed. Okay. But now there is a challenge. What is the challenge here? I'll give you another option. So now this is the option. Okay. Now if we check quickly, we will understand that okay, CBE still can be formed. So we will mark a tick mark here on 5. But always remember, in these types of questions, if you see two identical options, CBE, both are the same, and usually they will give you this question with symbols. Okay. That means there is some problem now. What? That you cannot directly attempt from this one. You will have to manually observe. How do I manually observe? So I'll have to check, can this fold be possible here? So if I have C on the top, okay, and if I fold B at one end, so the alignment of B and C cannot be how they have shown here. Okay, if I have accepted this one, perfectly fine, but I cannot accept this one here. So this will be cancelled. Manually out of these two, I can see only this can be formed, that cannot be formed, so that will be rejected. Mostly this is asked in terms of symbol. So they'll give you one arrow, maybe that arrow is on the top, normal, but if that arrow is going slant, that arrangement or that alignment or that orientation is not possible only. So you'll have to reject that manually. So sometimes in these questions, you will have to get down and check manually to ensure what exactly is happening. Okay. And if in case they give you blank spaces, what are the variations which they give you in these charts? Sometimes these charts are not always like this. These charts are sometimes made like this. Okay, like this. And they'll ask you what is opposite to what. Now here there is no longest line, no longest horizontal or vertical line. No problem. You pick up this line, alternate, pick up this line, alternate. Whatever is remaining is opposite. You can do that. Okay. Or they will form something like this. So now in this case, when you will fold the face opposite to B, what will that be? The face opposite to B will be something of this sort. Okay, because these quarter flaps will close together to form a single square of this figure. Now they can give you some signs here. A will be given divide, E will be multiply, D will be plus, C will be minus. So okay, so then you will see that if the figure will be something like this. If there is A given on the top, let's say. So then when you will flip it at one side, here there will be a divide sign with A. Okay. Then B will be there opposite to this sign. Okay. Then either E or D will be here. So let's say we'll have D here. So with D we'll have a plus sign here. Okay. So we have an E there. So this is a multiply sign here. And below A it is C here. So we'll have a minus sign here. So that is how you will check for the arrangement. Okay. And often there are also blank spaces given. So something of this sort will be there. this sort of a figure will be given to you. So what will be your options? Again, this dot is opposite to star, and then there is a blank opposite to blank and another blank opposite to blank. Okay. So then my priority is always going to be to form the cube. Okay. Supposedly if I have this option, dot here and two blanks. So technically there are two things which come to your mind. Number one, that I can make it as dot blank or blank. So two blanks together cannot come, so this will not be formed. But this can also be dot blank and blank. So my priority will be to form the dice and not to ignore it. It can be dot blank and blank or dot blank and blank, anything dot blank and blank in any order, but I will preferably form it. But if there are multiple options with similar things, then again manually get down and start observing it so that you can check it from the correct orientation. That is the only one point which you need to take care of here. Rest everything is perfectly fine. Okay. Now let's move on to the next part, which is closed dice. Closed. So under the category of closed dice, what happens is there may be multiple dice given to you. Minimum 2 are required. Minimum 2 are required, maximum as many number of die as possible. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, any number, but minimum 2 is required. Even if they are giving you 5 dice. So what you will do is you will pick up the best 2 and then solve your question. Right? Now we will have some numbers here. Alright. Now we have 3 figures here. Okay. Supposedly any 2 are given to you at a point. Okay. So case number 1 is, let's look at figure 1 and figure A, B, C. Let's look at A and B together. Figure A plus B. Supposedly if this was given to you as a question, only these 2 figures were given. How will the question be asked? The question will be always asked which face is opposite to which one, right? Or which face is opposite to this particular face, something of that sort. So supposedly they are asking you what is opposite to 4 in these 2 questions. What is opposite to 4? So how will you proceed? You will first check that in figure A and B we have one face common. We have one face common. So these are the type of questions which have one face common in them. So when they are asking you about what is opposite to 4, how will we proceed? We will take the common face and we will fix that. What is the common face? It is 3. So that is fixed. Now from 3 you will go clockwise. So from 3 you will go clockwise 6 and then 1. So you will have 6 and 1. From here you will have 5 and 4. So you will have 5 and 4. They are asking you opposite 4, so it is 1. If they ask you opposite 6 or 5, they are opposite to each other. So 6 is opposite to 5, 5 is opposite to 6, 4 is opposite to 1, 1 is opposite to 4. So that answers the question. Okay. What if in the same set of figures it is now asking you what is opposite to 3? You did not know this in the first case. Okay. So this first method was known as the clockwise method. You can also go anti-clockwise, but I would suggest pick up any one direction and follow it in both the cases. Okay. The second method, if I ask you about the common face itself, so then we use what is known as the adjacent method. What is the adjacent method? The adjacent method, supposedly we need to find out for 3. So we don't know about the third figure. So don't look at this right now. Only A and B we have. So when I pick up 3, I can say that what 4 faces are adjacent with 3. With 3 I have 1, I have 6, I have 4, I have 5. So none of these will actually be opposite to 3. So from the options you will delete all of these options. You will be left with only one answer that will be opposite to 3. Now that can be anything. That can be anything. It can be 2, it can be anything given in the option apart from 1, 6, 4, 5. Alright. So that you will choose based on the options. In this case, if 2 was the case, 2 would have been the answer. Right. So this is known as the adjacent method. And if I look at A and C, supposedly now only A and C were given to me. So I have something known as two-phase common here. Two-phase common. Why two-phase common? Because here I can see 1, 6 and 1, 6 both are common. So they will ask now, they will still ask me now, what is opposite to 3? What is opposite to 3? Or let's say they'll ask you what is opposite to 2. So if you have two-phase common, you just highlight those two faces. Whatever is left becomes opposite. Whatever is left becomes opposite. This is known as the remaining method. This is known as the remaining method. Okay. So with this, you can actually find out which face is opposite to which face. Alright. And as I told you, there can be multiple figures given to you. So let's suppose all these 3 were given to you and they had asked you which is opposite to 2. So you would have simply checked 2 here with you. With that you have 1, 6. Your priority is to look for 1 and 6 together. So you found it here. So immediately you will get your answer. So these are the best 2 faces in that case. The best 2 cubes. If they are asking you opposite 3, these are the best 2 faces for you. The best 2 cubes for you. So that is how, even if multiple cubes are given to you, let's say 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever. So you will choose the best 2 to answer, to find the quickest answer. Alright. So that's majorly it about cubes. One extra thing which is seen in some questions, right? Though they take care of this fact that if there are 2 cubes given like this, if there are 2 cubes given like this, you may come across these questions sometimes. Now they'll ask you what face is opposite to what face. You will say now there is no face common. Then how do I find out? Okay. So point number 1 is it may be a standard dice. Okay. You can always go with the standard dice. So in case of standard dice, you will know 1 is opposite to 6, 2 is opposite to 5, 3 is opposite to 4. Okay. Right. If this does not work out for you, then the second thing which you will think is, you will look at the options. In the options, it will be given cannot be determined. This is the absolute correct way to go about it. Cannot be determined. Okay. So either of them is always going to work out for you. Okay. If in case you come across figures where none of the faces are common, then this is going to work out for you. Sometimes in some random cases, I have seen this work in this workout, but I would not advocate for this method because I am not very sure about this myself, that how much is this true. Supposedly something of this sort was given. Okay. So in that case, the cubes usually face like this. So one faces like this, the other faces like this. If nothing works out, then it is known, it is observed in some cases that the top faces are opposite to each other, the side faces are opposite to each other, and the front faces are opposite to each other. But this one is a doubtful method. Hence I do not stand by it. I am just letting you know that this exists. Okay. But I have seen questions in railway examinations where they give you 2 cubes which are totally different, but they have the option of cannot be determined there. So you choose that. That is a better way to go ahead. Right. So that's it all about cubes. That's enough information which you need. Let's start practicing the questions right away without any further ado. So we'll start with some good questions only because we don't have the liberty of time with us. So let's pick up from this question. Okay, let's quickly solve this. And you can put the answers in the chat box, guys. Very good. Okay. So what is the face opposite 1? So we have 1, 2, 3, but 2, 3 is not there anywhere else. How else can we find out what is opposite to 1? So we'll pick this up. That's the only best option now with 3. With 3, if you go clockwise, you'll have 2 and then you'll have 1, and with 3, you'll have 4 and then you'll have 5. What is opposite to 5? So with 5, we have 1 which is opposite. So hence option. What is opposite to 1? So we have option B, 5 as the correct answer. Okay. Next. And also, one thing which you need to remember here is, you can apply any method which you want. One face common, you'll apply one face common. Two face common, you can apply two face common in one question only. But if in two figures you find out that only one face is common, don't apply two face common method, and vice versa. Be careful about that. Okay. Let's be quick with the answers. So what is opposite 1 again? It's pretty easy. With 1 we have 5, 2. 5, 2 here again. So 1 is opposite to 4. So option C is the right answer. What is opposite to F? So quick glance will help you. Quick glance. Very good, Snehal. Excellent. Quick glance here. What is opposite to F? So with F we will see AB. Try to locate AB. Okay, we have AB. So yes, we are in luck. E is opposite to F. Option C is the correct answer. Sometimes it might work, sometimes it just does not work. So then in that case, you look for the other options. This is the best possible answer because this is the quickest answer for us. Now, this is a good one. This is open chart based. Try to solve this quickly. Good, very good. Now observe. Longest vertical line we can see here. 6 is opposite to 1. 3 is opposite to 5. And 2 is opposite to 4. Okay. So one face from each figure. But this time you have options like this. Now I'll show you how you can use options also in your benefit. Okay. Double. So we'll check the first one. 6, 3, 4. 6, 3, 4. Can we form it? Yes, we can form it. So we can definitely form A. Okay. If we can form A, this and this option will get deleted because only C and D, only B and C is not possible. A has to be there. Now with A, we can see C is there in both these options. So we don't have to check C. We only will check for D. If we can form D, option A is right. If we cannot form D, option D will be right. So check for D right away. 3, 5, 4. 3, 5, 4. 3 and 5 are on the same level. D cannot be formed. So I'll reject option A also and option D is my correct answer. Okay. It's that simple. But even if you don't act so smartly, you're not saving a lot of your time here by doing that, because even if you check these cubes, it's not going to take a lot of your time. See, 6, 4, 2 cannot be formed. 3, 1, 2 can be formed. Very easy to isolate A and C as the correct answer. So the choice is yours. You can either utilize the options for your favor or probably go through all the 4 dice. It's not very difficult. Okay, good job. Very good, Snail. Next. So here again we'll pick up the longest line. This time we have the longest horizontal line with us. Okay, longest horizontal line. So A will be opposite to C, T will be opposite to J, and F will be opposite to L. Start again. ATF can be formed. Similarly, you can see now this will be deleted. Okay. So now we have A, B are already there in all the options. So we'll only check for C and D. If C is true, option B. If D is true, option C. If none of them are true, then option A. It's better only if you check everything, no? B can be formed, we know that now. So C is CAJ. CAJ cannot be formed. C is gone. LTF cannot be formed. D is also gone. So only option A is the correct answer. That is only A and B. Next. Try this one. Only A? No. See. Try this one now. So 2 will be opposite a blank. This dot will be opposite a blank. And this rhombus will also be opposite a blank. Now your priority, as I told you, has to be to form the cube. Okay. So rhombus blank blank. Rhombus blank blank can be formed. Rhombus dot blank still can be formed. Now if you observe these two, they are the same. They are just different orientations. But here the direction of 2 will not matter. Okay. If you observe the orientation of 2, supposedly 2 should be like this on the top. So if I keep this as it is, and if I try to bring this on the other side, this will not be possible. If I keep 2 here, if I keep this here, so on the left hand side, I will have the rhombus which is hidden, and at the back of 2, I should have had the dot. So dot will not come here like this. But similarly, if I keep this 2 on the side like this face, okay, on the side, the bottom will be blank. On the side here, I will have this. So technically, I would neither be able to form C nor D. Only A and B, and that is not in the option. So that means I don't have to look at the orientation manually. I just have to check whether I can form both these orientations will be possible or not. So my answer will be yes, they will be possible. Technically, A, B, C, D should be, you will be able to form A, B, C, D here. All of them. Though, if you find out this question, this is given to be the correct answer. They are rejecting option D here on the ground of orientation. But if you observe the orientation of 2 here, we can still form that also. If we keep 2 on the side, we can still have this dot in the front, can't we? With this orientation, if this is true, we can have this dot in the front and then keep 2 in the side. So the dot will be on the front, 2 will be on the side, and the blank face will be on the top. These both are similar orientations only. So we will consider that. Okay. Cool. Now, next, try this one. Or rather than this, we'll give a last shot to one question and then we will be, okay, try this and then I have one more for you. That's it. Then we'll end the session. This is a question from a railway examination, but interesting. Don't look at the exam, just look at the question. It's a very simple question. So there are 4 friends J, Q, B and Z who roll the dice in alphabetical order. Alphabetical order means B rolls it first, followed by J, followed by Q, followed by Z. And in the first round, this is their score. Second round, this is their score. Third round, this is their score. Each point on the dice gives them 10 points. So they are asking you who scored the maximum. Basically, they just want to know which has the highest vertical sum. So 4 plus 3, 7 plus 1, 8 is B. 2 plus 2, 4 plus 5, 9 is J, 5, 6, 7 is Q, and 4 plus 1, 6 plus 2, 8 is Z. So we know that J is the highest one. So J is going to secure the highest points. Okay. And this is the kind of question I was telling you. In SSC, they don't usually ask these questions, but this is the kind of question we are looking for. Try this one. They are asking you which of these dies can be formed. See, it's a good question. Okay, very good. Good, Snehal. Very good. Excellent. So again, here we'll have to manually observe, because if you see, this is the longest line. So blank is opposite to blank. The asterisk is opposite to the arrow, so they cannot be seen together. And the circle is opposite to the blank, the remaining ones. Now, look at option A. Asterisk and arrow are coming together. Cannot be formed, cannot be formed. But if you look at from that perspective, circle blank arrow can be formed, and arrow blank blank can also be formed. We only need to choose one. So now you will have to observe manually. Okay. Now you will have to observe manually. If the arrow is kept in the same direction, this figure can be folded downwards and this figure can be folded sidewards. So this is my correct option. But if I raise the arrow on the top, so let's suppose I just remove this figure on this face, then my circle in no ways can ever come on the top. The circle will come on the side and this arrow will be on the side. So then the blank will come on the top. So this orientation is not possible. Hence I will reject option B and I will choose option C as my correct answer. Right? So on that note, we'll end the session here today. But before we end it, there is one important thing which I need to share with you. Is that a lot of you ask me where can we find the PDFs of these classes. So let me just give that to you. The PDF of these classes are available on the Oliveboard application. Okay. So even of this class, you will see all my notes, whatever I have written here. And apart from that, whatever questions we have solved on the Oliveboard application. Download the updated application. Select your examination here. Bottom right corner, select your, click on the tab courses. This page will open up. Navigate to YouTube class PDFs. Select this particular class. You can get your PDF from there. You will be able to see the name of the faculty, the topic which was taught, at what time the class was conducted, and the PDF of that class. So on that note, we'll terminate the session here, guys. If you are preparing for CGL, the wonderful CGL Tier 1, Tier 2 combo courses are going on, right? Crash courses are going on, where we are covering, it is in for naming it is a crash course, but actually we are not just rushing through everything. We are covering every little aspect because we still have good amount of time, and we are very soon going to come up with a new version of it. So stay tuned on the Oliveboard platform and keep looking forward. And you can subscribe to this channel and like the video right away. Share it with your friends and family, those who are interested and preparing for these examinations. Thank you so much for joining live. Bye bye. Namaskar. Jai Hind.